soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force.
We went over and we crawled. If you stood up, you were dead.
Schulden tragen den deutschen Staat, das Deutsche Reich.
What's this for 5? This is Delta for 5-3.
We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
We are live. We are live. Okay, first podcast, Shaun. I have no clue what to expect from. Yeah, I have no clue what to expect from all this. Hope audio is fine. Hope video is fine. And yeah, next week guest is going to be a good one, though.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
Quite a few good guests lined up, so it should be good.
Yeah, well, 100%. We just need to do this weekly and then throw some podcasts out. So yeah, welcome everybody who's watching. Welcome to the Trails of History podcast. We have no clue what name we are going to put to the podcast. Maybe Relive History podcast or just be the Trails of History podcast. We have no clue, but yeah, we hope that this series is going to be something new that we can bring to the table with some interesting guests. Although there are a lot of podcasts and stuff out there, we thought let's do it ourselves as well, right?
Yeah, and I think keep it pretty chill as well. Try and get some interesting guests on and maybe talk about some topics that isn't, done too often, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have in the future also an Egyptian tour guide who's from Egypt. So, that type of other historic stuff is probably going to be good. Probably going to be great. So, yeah, should we start? Who are we? Introduce yourself first, I would say.
I think most people probably know me by now after being on your channel a few times, but my name's Shaun, from the UK, obviously. You can probably tell by the accent. 39 years old, work as a full-time gas engineer, and now paired off with Sander here to try and start a new endeavor together. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, you're stuck with me for the next years. Yeah,
well, you've just told me I've got to do this weekly with you, so there we are.
You can see the enthusiasm in his face, right? So yeah, my name is Sander. I have a YouTube channel called SandervkHistory. That's probably where you know Shaun also from. Well, we have a tight group friend as well that you probably know him from JD, the History Underground, Rob, History in Your Hands, Marcel, History War Cinema, and Chris, Vlogging Through History. So I am 27 years old right now, depending on when you watch it. If you watch it in a year's time, then yeah, I'm 28. But yeah, I live in the Netherlands, and I have the worst Dutch accent while I'm talking English. So just bear with me for that. What are you laughing about? It's not funny. My most viewed video, one of the top comments is the most Dutch accent I've ever seen. Ever heard.
Say sprinkles on toast for me.
Yeah, sprinkles on toast.
Sprinkles on toast.
Sprinkles on toast. How did your passion come by for history, Shaun?
I think I was a bit late on in life, to be fair. Like I say, I'm 39 now, big 40 next year. But I served with the British Army as a reservist, and I joined quite late. Obviously, I didn't go regular or mainstream army. I did reserves, and it was after doing that, they sent some guys on a battlefield tour, and I couldn't make it, and I didn't really think too much of it. So you're going back, gosh, got to be mid-20s, late 20s. So, it wasn't like from a very young age.
Yeah.
And then I started doing some digging. I think my auntie was doing our family tree, and I found out that my great-grandfather fought in the Somme. And that was kind of the real kicker, because she sent me a photograph of him, a black and white photo. I'll have to dig it out at some point.
Oh, you still have it somewhere?
Yeah, no, I've got it somewhere. You'll have
to
forgive me, because I moved house in February, and although that was a long time ago, I'm still living out of boxes. So it's in a box somewhere. I got it printed off. And she had done the family tree on Ancestry and gave a little bit about him. And I was like, oh, the Somme, started digging into it. And that was it then. It's just became... It's like an addiction, I guess. I just all over it, doing research.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. And then obviously becoming friends with yourself and your YouTube channel and watching you grow from an early stage to finally meeting and doing some of the trips. I think Arnhem and places like that. That was it then. It's just spiraled out of control.
A little bit out of control. Look at him sitting here now on Trails of History podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird how things go in life, right? Especially with the history based. All of a sudden, people you meet, and the more stuff you learn, the more you actually want to know, and also the more you realize that you do not know.
Oh, 100%. I don't think you could learn it all in a lifetime. It's just every story, it's just unbelievable. It never ends. It's like, you know, when you watch your favorite TV show and the season ends, like this never will. And I'm aware of that. You'll never know everything or learn everything or remember everything. That's the trouble.
Yeah.
But your journey was a bit different though, right? Because obviously your father got you involved at a very young age, which is cool, by the way.
Yeah, so my father sort of indoctrinated me. That's the joke I always make with him. He indoctrinated me into history. And from a young age, he was, let me start really from the beginning. He started learning about history once he picked up a World War I book in the library when he was younger. And from there on, he got really interested into it. And then fast forward a few years, he became, when he was a grown-up, of course, he was part of a forum. Is that the right English word? A forum online where you can put
online forum, yeah.
Yeah, an online forum. Yeah, he was part of that, and it was his World War I based. And they would do forum meetings and stuff. So they would go to the actual battlefields with the people from that forum, and then sometimes he would bring me with him as well. And that's when I was a kid. Yeah, I came up to those meetings as well. And then in our free time, I just only went with my dad, or even with the whole family, like with my two sisters and my mom and dad. We went to like history places and then just explored museums. And of course, as a little boy and a kid, you find the guns cool, the tanks, the airplanes, right? And then slowly but surely, the history spark started with me, and it just sort of never went away. Although I lost the interest a bit when I was around 15 till 19-ish, 20-ish. And then all of a sudden, my best friend asked me if I wanted to go to Normandy with him and his parents. And that's when the history spark ignited again. And that's where that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember when we did the trip to Verdun. So the first time I've been to Verdun, and you're showing us around, but you were showing us, I think it was when we were at Fort Douaumont, and you found the photos of yourself as like a little kid with your dad, and then we managed to find the exact spots where the photos were taken. So really cool.
Dude, I would love to. I'll put them up now so people can see it as well, those photos. Because everything is pre-recorded. It's not live, by the way, for this podcast, just to make it more convenient for us and for the guests as well, to make them more comfortable.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll do a live one day.
Probably. Yeah. Well, this program that we're using is like absolutely insane. It's pretty expensive, but it is very, very good. I can do stuff like this. Go to our website, trailsofhistory.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Trails of History Official. How cool is that?
Boys and his toys.
Yeah, dude, I can do all that. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you really want a good introduction of us, I have a way better way, especially for Shaun. This one.
Hi there, my name is Shaun Wells. I'm a full-time gas engineer as well as a serving soldier in the British Army.
I love that.
It wasn't playing for me then.
Oh, it didn't for me as well. Hold on, maybe if I do it like this. Now it should be playing. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
Hi there, my name is Shaun Wells. I'm a full-time gas engineer as well as a serving soldier in the British Army Reserve. I live in the UK with my wife and my 2 young children.
Nice.
I need to lose some weight.
You look fine, man. Don't worry. You look fine. So let's explain to people, how did we come to each other? How did we get to know each other? Maybe you can kick that off.
So I can't remember the exact year, but you know what I'm like with timings. But I know it was just pre-lockdown, right? In the two years before that, ish. So we met playing a video game of all things, Postscriptum, which was like a World War II milsim realistic shooter, I guess you could say, and just chatted on and off. I think you were quite early on in the journey with your YouTube channel. You weren't huge at that point. I think it was kind of, you were working on the content and stuff. And then the dreaded lockdown hit. And I remember at the time, my wife, she was still working because she works in a bakery. So she was classed as, you know, a worker that could still go to work. I worked at the University of Exeter at the time, looking after international students. Now, of course, they all flew home. Lockdown happened. So I was stuck in the house with 2 kids, trying to figure out how to keep them entertained and myself entertained. Thankfully, we had a big garden so that we could run around, but there were obviously times in the afternoons and certainly the evenings where there's only so much Netflix, YouTube, books you could read. So I think a lot of us just turned to the games, you know. We'd get online and you'd be in a chat group with 20, 30 people all playing because I think everyone's European based for us. Everyone was off work.
Yeah.
So that became kind of like the social hub, I guess, just to get through lockdown. And my God, it helped. I think it helped a lot of people. I know
definitely
a few people that used to play in our sort of gaming group, you know, struggled with mental health issues and stuff. So lockdown for them was a pretty scary ordeal. But having the outlet of being able to hang with a group of people still and play some games. And I think that's where we really sort of gelled from that moment there. And that's when we started planning to meet up and do some history trips. And that's what we did. And look at us now.
Yeah, literally. I remember joining a server on that game. And then your name popped up as well. And all of a sudden, you start talking with people who were on that server. But that server was connected to a gaming group, like a clan. And then, you were in there, I think, already when I joined.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wanted to have a tighter community with that game. And I joined that gaming group, that gaming clan. And you were in it. And when we started talking, and all of a sudden, we did a clan meeting, a group meeting in real life. And that was the first time I think we ever saw each other.
Yeah, that was Arna Moosterbeek, wasn't it? We stayed in Oslo.
Yeah. And then from there on, we just stayed in contact. And my YouTube channel eventually grew pretty large, like what it is now, almost 100,000, which is pretty insane.
Man, you're really not far off that 100K.
No, it's really, really, really close.
It probably doesn't help that I unsubscribe and subscribe daily just to mess around with it.
Yeah, just to see it going up and down, giving me the stress. Now it's you were pretty early with me in the journey. I think I didn't even have 100 subscribers yet.
No. I remember posting links to your channel around certain groups I knew, you know, especially like UK military veteran groups and stuff. And I think that generated a few subs over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks. It went up a bit. But yeah, I think that helped with a few numbers.
Yeah, you made me famous.
Yeah. So you
it's
just
all your
remember
fault
me when you're rich and famous.
Yeah, I have a garden that needs keeping up.
Yeah,
so
I'll be a very high-paid gardener, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then all of a sudden the years go by. Oh, I remember on that first trip that we did, I did the tour, right? In Oosterbeek, Arnhem, because I knew a little bit about Market Garden. And I guided the group around. And I remember you guys telling me like, dude, you should do this as a job or make your own touring company. And back then I was like...
I hounded you, didn't I? Saying, man, just do Market Garden, you know, maybe do 1 or 2 a month, you know, like even just a walking tour for like 10 people. And then, I think I probably spent a good 2 months just saying you should do that. And then you rang me one day and was just like, I want to do a touring company.
Yeah. I think a few years later I did it. And then a few years later, I got an email from one of my subscribers asking if I know any tour guides. And they sort of hinted to me to do the tour for them. And 2 American guys, a son and his father, like absolutely amazing guys. And I did a Nijmegen tour for them. And they loved it so much. And they were they wrote to me like a whole message, like how good it was. And then I thought, you know what? Let's do a tour company. Let's start it. And then I didn't want to do it alone. And there was only one guy I could think of. I needed my ginger friend with it. And I remember messaging you, hey, do you want to start a touring company together? And now here we are.
Yeah, I think I was just like, yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. And you regretted it ever since?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
So we started up SandervkH Tours, was it first?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it became Trails of History because, we needed to rebrand. That story maybe we'll tell one day or maybe a little bit later in the podcast. But I wouldn't go in depth on what happened. Well, we sort of were going to start a new company with somebody, and then we sort of made the whole foundation for that company, and then it got cancelled, and then we were sitting still with that foundation for a whole new company. So you have to think of Google Drive systems, administrative systems, bank cards, an advisor that we even hired, hired. How do you say that?
You just paid for the service, yeah.
Yeah,
We
paid
didn't
for
really
the
hire
service.
them, but
Yeah, so we were sitting with the whole foundation for a new company, and we were like, what are we going to do now with this? It would be a very big shame to just throw it away. And then we sort of had the idea of, hey, we could just rebrand, because SandervkH Tours is more on my name, even though it's our company. So, and then...
yeah, well, I think the initial plan, right, is obviously because you already had your YouTube channel, SandervkHistory, so the two were relatable. But then I think, obviously, we're branching. We're not just doing tours. We're looking at other aspects. So we kind of more wanted a brand, I guess, a recognizable brand rather than, I don't know if that's the right way of saying it.
Yeah.
But I think I said to you before, like, I've known you for years. So Sander to me is normal. Like, Sander's not a common name in the UK. In fact, I don't know anyone called Sander in the UK. So whenever, especially English people, I'd be like, SandervkH Tours, they'd all be like, what's a SandervkH? So then I had to explain. I'm like, that's my friend's name. And I think it was you actually said, let's rebrand, change the name.
Yeah.
And we went for a couple of name suggestions, but Trails of History kind of stuck. And I think we got Marcel to thank for that.
Marcel,
right?
Yeah. Marcel came up with that one. We were sitting in the sun in the house, and then I was just like, after the whole day of filming, I went back, opened the laptop, and still working on that new company, because we already knew that we were going to rebrand. But yeah, then you have to have a name, right? Something catchy, something that didn't have the domain name. I came up with Genetic History, and you weren't really that keen of it. And
to me, that's like an old man in a white lab coat studying DNA or something.
Yeah, some glasses, bald head. So yeah, then I looked at that domain name, and they asked like 5,000 euros for that domain name, because it was a pretty, like, people do that. They buy domain names and resell them. It was pretty big. And then I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. And then Marcel came up with Trails of History. I'm like, dude, that's actually a really good name. So I looked up the domain name, and you know what the amount was for the domain name?
I know, you told me. I know it's a fraction of
11 euros.
Yeah.
11 euros. I'm like, yep, trailsofhistory.com.
Add to basket.
Yeah, add to basket. And now we have this domain name. Website is now, when we're recording this, it's still being made by one of our good friends, Liam.
Yeah, shout out Liam.
Shout out Liam, definitely. He's working on it now, and it will be done maybe if the podcast comes out, or maybe it's still coming soon. We'll have to see.
Yeah, he's a really talented guy, Liam. I hope he pursues that, because he works full time as well and does that sort of stuff on the side. So
yeah, it's crazy what he can do. It's like he codes the whole website.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beyond my brain capacity to understand. That's for sure.
It's like Chinese for me as well. So we had SandervkH Tours, right? So let me add that one, so we can look a little bit at the trailer of SandervkH Tours, and then we can maybe talk about the differences.
Yeah, I think we should say of the running joke that was going around as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So with a pinch of salt, obviously, initially we had Sander's name, so SandervkH Tours, and a few people were like, well, why Shaun's not naming it? And then it was just like, Sander, Shaun, SS Tours doesn't sound very good.
Come and join us on SS Tours. It's going to be in Germany.
That wasn't going to fly.
No, we didn't need to do that. I'm glad we didn't do that, and we were decent thinking human beings.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it didn't even dawn. And it was like, oh my God, we can't. No, how have we not realised that? That's terrible.
We cannot do SS Tours.
No, bad move.
So should we just have a little bit of a look at that trailer that we had for SandervkH Tours? And I'll pause in the middle somewhere, and we'll talk about the differences and what is different with Trails of History compared to SandervkH Tours.
Yep.
There we go. I hope it's not too late.
Hi there, my name is Shaun Wells. I'm a full-time gas engineer as well as a serving soldier in the British Army Reserve. I live in the UK with my wife and my 2 young children.
Why does my beard
History
look
has
extra
always
ginger?
been a huge passion of mine, which in recent
You
years
enhanced
I've
it.
really expanded upon. And I share this passion with my good friend here.
Hello, and my name is SandervkHistory. I am a YouTuber that makes videos about history. Working for a car company and
Not anymore.
SandervkHistory.com, my own company. And now we are coming with a new project.
Step back in time and experience history like never before. Join us for tours of historic battlefields and relive the history that shaped our world. Welcome to SandervkHistory Tours.
Dude, that was an actual banger of a trailer.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was really, really good.
I still love that logo as well. I'm glad we kept it and just incorporated it into the new one because that was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's sort of the same. I sort of stole the SandervkHistory Tours logo for SandervkHistory. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. So differences between SandervkHistory Tours. Let me explain what SandervkHistory Tours was a bit, the idea. And then you can maybe explain what Trails of History is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So SandervkHistory Tours, we started it sort of as, hey, let's feel the waters a bit. If we do 1 or 2 tours this year in 2025, then that's awesome, right? It was more just to check out, like, hey, could we do a company together and could we do some tours as well? Then we started, and it was only based on private, customized itinerary tours. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
So
it's
only private.
Yeah.
Yeah. So only private tours, and then we wanted to expand to ticketed tours, but that was then for the future. We just wanted to feel the water, and all of a sudden we started it up. And how many tours did we do? 8 tours.
Yeah, about that.
So
it all blends into one. I kind of think about it and I'm like, oh my god, because I was obviously hopping to and fro from the UK. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It was a lot of fun though. It was really good, especially that army tour. We had 2 coaches, 90 people. Yeah, that was pretty new to us. Like such a big group. We were used to maybe like 8, 7.
Let's put this into some sort of context. So we were doing small groups, 2, 4, 6, 8. Get a phone call from Sander one day. I think I was day off, still in my dressing gown, like most people do on their day off. Phone rings. I'm like, all right, mate. He's like, yeah, we've got a new tour. He said someone's passed this one over to us. I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, it's for the Dutch military. I'm like, okay. Yeah, there's 2 coaches. I'm like, two coaches? How many people? 80 to 90 people. I'm like, Sander, what have you done? Oh no.
The stress levels immediately 100.
Like, I don't get intimidated or scared very often, but I was just like, oh no, what are we doing? But thankfully it was incredible. The group was amazing as well. So many nice people. And obviously I was the only Englishman. It was 2 groups of 2 coach loads of Dutch military, but yeah, made to feel really welcome. And I even had people put their hands up saying they'd rather the English tour guide.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, they rather had you touring them around than me, which is sort of, which I sort of can get, right? You're ex-military or you're still in the reserves, right? So you are military and you sort of resonate more with those people. I wouldn't say normal civilian, but I'm a civilian, right? And I think that respect in military level is sort of universal.
Yeah. That has no borders, if you know what I mean. It's people just kind of know, and it doesn't matter what capacity, you know, even if you're a truck driver in the military, a reservist, or, you know, a bit more elite, everyone kind of, it's like the bro code, man.
Yeah. And you were also a little bit older than me. Like I got the feeling that they were testing me a lot, like trying to feel the waters, who I am, and what are the boundaries a bit, and is this guy actually knows what he's talking about? Which bit
of character building for you. That was what that was, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm always all over the place, right? I'm energetic and this and that. So they were probably, they were testing me, definitely. But that was a good tour. So with SandervkHistory Tours, that was the plan first. And then we were going to work with somebody together, and that sort of fell through. and didn't continue. And then we were sitting with there, and now we were going to rebrand. And then you tell what we're going to do with Trails of History.
Yeah, so we're still gonna. SandervkHistory tours will never leave us. So we've still, if people want a personalised tour, smaller tour, happy days. And the ticketed tours is something for the future. So as in selling a seat on a coach for, say, a 2-day tour. But what else can we do? Because we want to, for me, it was a big part of having history being accessible as well. And I think that's where the podcast came into it. Get guests on, a bit more outreach, especially to people that maybe aren't able to get on tours. Things will be covered. And I got approached by a couple of friends and acquaintances where I live in the UK. And that's the thing with most people in the UK, is that everyone's got a relative who was affected by World War I, World War II. And a couple of people I know, they had names and little bits of info on relatives that served in the Great War, World War I, but they didn't know much about them. Relatives had since grown old, passed away. One of them, their great-grandfather actually died in World War One, and there wasn't much known about him. And that's when they asked if I could help dig out some info. So, trawling the Forces War Records Ancestry, I think I contacted Chris from Vlogging for History to help. I managed to find the service records and some PDFs of the service records where they served, how they died, one of them. And I gave all that information across to them, and they were just so thankful and grateful that I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And I didn't charge them, but they were like, here, take £100, go get yourself, go take the wife to dinner, or grab yourself a beer, whatever it was. And I just thought, why can't we offer that? Why can't that be sort of part of it? So that is now incorporated, that we'll try and help people reconnect with maybe lost relatives that they don't know much about. And
the research department.
Yeah. So
researching
research department, and that research department currently is myself, obviously you, and then we do have a network of friends that is willing to help. Rob from History in Your Hand, Chris. So it's a new venture as part of Trails of History, but I think it's going to work.
I think as well.
The impact it made on the people that I did it for as a favor, it was it's quite heartwarming as well for me. I felt like a sense of success when I finally managed to find it, and I was just like, oh my god, here we go, I've got it.
Yeah.
Pinging that across in the email and getting the phone call, I was just like, yeah, you're welcome. That's cool.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Like, even though if we do this and only one person a year wants to have some history research from their family members, like that's enough. Like, we hope more, of course, but that would be enough. Just helping one person finding stuff out about the great-grandfather, maybe even take them back, incorporate a little bit of a tour for them, take them back to the battlefields as well. So we could use the research department and the tours department pretty easily with each other. We could combine it, we could do it separately.
100%. You could tailor a decent package for that, where you're not just walking the battlefields, but hopefully we get to a point where we can be like, this area your great-grandfather was. This is where his unit was based or stationed at that time. This is the trench system that he occupied before rotating out. A lot of records are there, a lot of them aren't. But until you start digging down the rabbit hole of research, it can take a while to find stuff. But 100%, I can't begin to imagine the feeling someone would have if they're walking the Somme with a PDF of their great-grandfather, her great-uncle's file saying he was in this area, this is where he was wounded here, he got taken there. Like, incorporating the both would be incredible.
Dude, that would be insane. That would be an amazing, especially an amazing experience for them. And even if they aren't able to come overseas, because we are on the battlefields a lot, right? Every year, a few times a year, and we can go to their cemeteries and then maybe take a photo of their grave, make photos of the cemetery. You did that as well, right? One of your mates. He had a relative on the wall.
Yeah, the town I live in, Exmouth, in the southwest of the UK, like any English town, it's not just England or the UK. It's a lot of places in Europe. We have a war memorial in the middle, and that's I think there's even some names pre-World War One. So we've got World War One, World War Two, right through the Falklands, Northern Ireland, Afghanistan, Iraq. But yeah, I think it was when we were going to the Somme, so our own personal trip. Just I think we were there for 3 or 4 days, right, with Ypres.
Yeah.
I think there's about 200 odd names on the World War One memorial plaque for my town. And I looked at some of the names, and it was actually when we were in the Somme, Rob helped me, and we looked up some of the names and managed to find where they were buried. So, yeah, in the Devonshire Cemetery, I think we found 2 on the Thiepval Memorial. And I found a Holman, so a chap I know, John Holman. I found 2 Holmans on the Exmouth War Memorial, and I messaged John. I hadn't spoken to him for years. I said, John, has any of your relatives served in World War One? He said, my great uncle. And I managed to find him, and that was at the Vizen-Artois Memorial, if I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
It was just on the outskirts, wasn't it? And I managed to find him. Sadly, he doesn't have a known grave. His body was never recovered after he passed, but I managed to find his name on the memorial and take a photo and send that to John. And, you know, he was really grateful. I did a post on my local Facebook community page, and
I saw that
everyone loved it. Yeah, there was lots of positive reactions to it. And yeah, I just think there's such a hole, I wouldn't say in the market, just in general for that sort of stuff. And all it takes is a bit of time. If you've got the time, you can find it. So yeah. Another thing, if you know there's a known grave but you can't make it out there, and we're in the area, I'll happily go and take photos and send that on as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing as well, right? We have a lot of resources available. We we have a lot of connections to people who live close to the National Archive in America, people who live close National Archive in London, or in the Bundes archive in Germany. We have somebody, so we do have the resources and the capability, the interest as well, the knowledge and time to do this type of stuff for people, and being on the battlefields a lot every year. So this idea that you came up with, I think, right? This research. It all stemmed, like I said, just from that favor. And I just thought, why is this not something we can't offer? So, yeah. And now, so that's sort of led to this department now, what we have for the research part of Trails of History. And this YouTube channel. We want to do some on YouTube. So first, what we're going to do is this podcast, of course, right? Which we're started, of course, now. Invite some guests, some other creators, history nerds, history buffs, actors, other tour guides, just people who are busy with history. We want to invite them from big names to small names, maybe some regular people who often go to the Somme that you probably, or to World War One and World War II place that you probably never heard of. Just veterans as well. So we're going to see what this podcast is going to bring, and it is just a cool idea of having their stories on the internet in perpetuity. So people can watch it back, people can learn from each other, and that's the reason why we started this podcast. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there, but we just wanted to start this and share more stories with you guys who are watching. So, and on YouTube, we had some ideas as well, sort of walking the battlegrounds type of James Holland L. Murray style. Right, what they are doing with World War II headquarters, which I also highly recommend to watch. It's pretty really good, pretty amazing. Yeah, so we're thinking of doing that stuff, and some other videos. I'm going to re-upload 2 videos of my channel on this YouTube because they are very good and sort of research bound. So, which sort of resonates a lot with Trails of History, and some other ideas which we will probably you will see in the future.
Me cooking.
You cooking, yeah. Shaun making World War I and World War II meals.
Yeah, that's something I really want to have a go at.
Yeah, that's pretty cool idea.
Yeah, so I know that circulated a couple of times. Maybe next time we're out in the Somme, I'll take a little cook set and we'll see what we can do.
Oh man, cooking on the former battlefields, or is that a bit weird?
Nah, I mean, again, it's in a box somewhere. I only moved like over half a year ago, but I've got I can't remember the name of it now. It's like a memoir from some guys, but in the back of it is some photos of the handwritten notes, and it was one of the guys that used to cook in the trenches. I don't know whether he was the designated cook or just a guy that could cook, and he had the recipes on how he would improve the meals of what was available to them. Yeah, I'll have to dig the book out. It's really cool.
Have you ever told me this?
I just did now.
Yeah, you did now. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's like his section of men everyone would pull their resources together and he would cook the food. But he had a bit of a detailed recipe of what would go in the pot, because most of the time it was stews or whatever they could get their hands on locally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. I need to take a look at that as well. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, I'll
That's a
find
cool
it. It's in one of my the book box. The book box that's been sat there for months.
Book box. Yeah.
I need to
Okay.
decorate this room you can see me in.
Yeah, you just did.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You just
get
did
the-
it.
Yeah, I put a poster up because I thought this wall looked a bit bare. So that's a reproduction map of Arnhem Market Garden and Nijmegen down here, right?
Yeah. Before the podcast started, Shaun was like, "Hold on, I wanted to hang this up. Should I do it?" I'm like, "Yes." And
There's a big yellow wall behind me. I said I need to change that. Hang on a minute, and then that was it for about 20 minutes, hunting blue tack and sellotape, but I couldn't find either for ages. Kids have hidden it.
Oh man. So yeah, we had the type of episode. We talked about that as well, right? Maybe as well. Why is keeping history alive? Why does that matter today? Why does it matter today to keep history alive, especially today? Don't want to get too political, but more in the sense of
it's quite a difficult one, and I think it's hard to answer because when I was younger, if I'm speaking frank, I wasn't really that bothered. It wasn't that I wasn't bothered; it just wasn't at the forefront of my mind or that prevalent in my life. It wasn't until later on where I guess as you get a little bit older and your mindset changes. But I mean, I don't know what schools are teaching these days. You know, I know my son, he's only 11. He was like the Romans and stuff, but he touched on World War II, I think, last year, but not too much. So I don't really know in mainstream schooling in the UK what's kind of covered and what's not. But the only refresher you kind of get a year is Remembrance Day, which is pretty big. You know, most towns in the UK, everyone comes out to pay their respects. But I think you just don't want it to get lost. And I think as history moves on, you know, in 100 years' time, are we going to be remembering the guys from, I don't know, you look at the UK, we had the Falklands, Northern Ireland, Iraq, Afghanistan. How does history remember? But not losing sight of what happened is important. And do we ever learn from it? Not really, I don't think, as a human race.
No.
But I feel like the youth of today doesn't really know much. You know, I speak to people that are younger and they don't really know what I'm going on about. And for me, I feel like that's such a shame because it's a huge part of the human race, I guess. And I know there's always been conflict and wars and all that, but it's the true loss of life and what people are prepared to give. Can't be forgotten.
No.
I struggle to talk about it. I can never find the words to really convey my feelings around it. But
you said it pretty well, by the way.
Doing stuff like this helps. And you know, even if we reach one person, that's one more than we had yesterday. So yeah.
That's literally my motto as well with my YouTube channel. Like, make a video. I don't care if 1,000 people watch, that's cool, right? If 100,000 people watch, that's cool. But even if there's one person in there, like 100 viewers, and one person actually learned from it, and that's like, then my goal was succeeded.
Yeah.
Like, then I reached my goal. Yeah, I think as well the same, man, what you said. Although I wouldn't say disagree, but I would say that the youth today, literally probably the last 5 years, are more getting into history. More in the sense of, because in today's world, it's going a little bit downhill.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of resonates with more people and who are looking into history, right? And I think more and more people are getting into it again. You have those movies as well, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers.
Yeah, I think film and stuff. And, you know, I maybe just because I'm getting older, I'm not really tapped into the youth and what they're learning of today, other than what my children learn at school. But then my children are still quite young. So my eldest being 11, I don't know what's taught, but, you know, it is nice on a Remembrance Day if I go down to my local town to see all the kids there. You know, you get all the scout groups, the cadets and stuff are all there as well. And the crowd is always massive, which is great to see. So for such horrific circumstances, it's great that the community comes together to sort of honor those guys and obviously have a couple of beers in the pub afterwards.
To the lads, right?
Yeah.
A couple of beer to the lads.
But it's interesting talking just quickly, when we were, I can't remember the cemetery we were at now, the Arnhem one maybe. The Dutch youth is very different. Like, it was great to see a lot of the young school kids in the Commonwealth cemeteries out there, and I think you told me that a lot of them kind of adopt a grave, right?
Yeah, Oosterbeek, especially. Like, there's a school in the area that sort of keeps track and cleans the war cemetery there in Oosterbeek, and there's multiple. Sorry, excuse me. There's multiple cemeteries in the Netherlands where schools do that and children. But we see it as well when we are on battlefield tours, right? If it's in the Netherlands or in Belgium, France, not so much. But especially Belgium and the Netherlands, you see like a lot of school kids, like whole classes being taken there to those places and being guided around and talked about history, which I think is really, really cool.
It's incredible to see. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in the UK. I'm just not overly aware of it. But what I've seen with my own eyes is how, especially the Dutch and the Belgians kind of honor the sacrifices. And that's the odd thing, that it's a lot of the casualties are from the UK buried over there. Yeah. But the locals over there haven't forgotten. And that's amazing to see. That's, some of the people we've met that tirelessly work to look after those guys that are laid to rest over there is phenomenal.
Yeah, like a guy Yuri, right?
Oh,
he's
Yuri.
Doing every time,
what a guy.
Volunteering. Yeah. He's going to be a guest as well on the podcast.
We're going to get Yuri on 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
That guy is an incredible guy.
Dude, I'm so glad that I met him. Like, just his humbleness, his interest in history, his dedication, like, and all for free. He does it all volunteers. The Lego things that he builds with the Men in Gate that he cleans every time, and building memorials from Lego and cemeteries and
for context,
donating it.
Yuri volunteers for the Last Post Association, right? So he's one of the ceremonial guard. Is that what you'd call it?
Ceremonial assistant at
the Men in Gate in Ypres. So he gives up his time to help look after the memorial and make sure people are safe and make sure it runs smoothly every day. He's just an incredible guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be on here as well. He said yes, so that's nice. That's gonna be a cool episode. Yuri. What story personally for you had the most impact on you from the First or the Second World War or history in general? Just one story. I know there's a lot. Just one story that blinks out.
One that sticks to me the most, probably the Cat to Horst. Kate.
Oh, Kate
that
to
story
Horst,
you've told me. Namely, when you because you told me that story. I didn't really know too much about it when we were by the old church in Oosterbeek.
Yeah.
That had a lasting impact for sure. I remember getting a bit emotional after hearing that and going into the church. So there's loads, absolutely loads. The Somme and the Sheffield Pals Memorial, and just the story about those guys and where they fell. There's too many to say, but the one that sprung to my mind first was the Angel of Arnhem. So you can probably tell a bit of the story now.
From the Angel of Arnhem?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Angel of Arnhem. Well, in Arnhem and Oosterbeek, a lot of fighting was there with the 1st British Airborne Division, of course, during Market Garden. And civilians helped as well. The British Army, of course, with wounded, carrying stuff. And, Kate de Horst, her house was literally next to the church in Oosterbeek. And it was a pretty big house. And the church was sort of the center point of the British defense. So all the wounded would be brought back around that church and were taken care of. Kate de Horst opened up her house for the wounded to have a roof over the wounded's head, and putting them in the house. And the local doctor would come by as well and care for the guys who fought in Oosterbeek. Yeah, Kate de Horst, I think she had around 250 men in her house during the Battle of Operation Market Garden, in the Battle of Oosterbeek. And she cared so much and so well for the British troops there that they gave her a nickname, the Angel of Arnhem. So and there I can go in way more depth, but the podcast otherwise going to be 4 hours long.
Yeah, and her house is right next to the church, so that was the aid station as well, right?
Yeah. She gave up her house, literally,
Yeah.
And the house was filled to the brim with wounded soldiers.
And the church, it still bears a lot of the scars from that.
A lot.
That
Yeah, you
time.
saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it in this video over here. You can see when you lay your hand on it, you can see there all the bullet damage.
Yeah.
And this is just a small part. Like it's completely peppered. Every hole you see there
and
is
I think
a bullet
inside as well. If you get in there, the church pews still have like blood on them, right?
Yeah.
It's a strange place. I couldn't spend long in that church. I think you told me that story. I had a look in the church, and I'm not like a churchy person. Like I love the architecture and stuff, but the feeling I had when I went in there, I just couldn't stay in there for long. I had to get out.
I saw it, and we were lucky that the church was open back then.
Yeah.
So just imagine for him as a British guy, we were talking and walking the whole day, all the way to the old church as well. And it was somewhere midday when we arrived there. But we were talking the whole morning already about all the men who fought for the liberation of the Netherlands and the horrors that they had to deal with. And then all of a sudden you come into the church after all those stories, and then him for Shaun as a British lad. That was a pretty
even the
impactful.
stained glass windows was
with the parachutes.
It was everything about it, and then the blood on the pews. I think there was another group there, and I overheard some of the stories that someone was telling. Yeah, just a really surreal feeling, just knowing it's a beautiful church, but when you think in your mind the horrors that it saw, I think that's what got to me the most.
Man, if walls could talk.
Oh yeah,
man. So yeah, now what has biggest impact on me personally? That's a real hard one for me. I think the biggest impact that I had was a moment of realization was when I was in the Mauthaus and concentration camp, and I went into the gas chambers when I saw all the fingerprints of them scratching on the doors and the walls. Like you could see the blackness and the paint chips and stuff. It was really weird, but and then I was standing there, and also with my best friend Jurre. He is not the type of guy for getting emotional or silenced, or he doesn't really care about anything. But when we were there, it was a completely different dude. Especially when we went. I've never seen him like that. Like even he was like completely quiet. And after we were done, he had to sort of decompress a bit on what he saw in those gas chambers as well. And but what else? Yeah. A lot of stories, right? Iron Bridge for me, and
it's the small stories as well. So even when, and that affected me a little bit when I last visited you at your house, and you've got that memorial outside your house.
Yeah,
to the Jewish victims that were taken to Auschwitz and stuff from your town. I couldn't comprehend that at the time because that doesn't exist in the UK. There's no one deported per se.
No. Yeah.
But you're like, oh, this is kind of normal in the Netherlands where people were taken from. And then you told me about the little plaques outside the houses where people, like Jewish residents lived in this house.
Yeah.
And then the huge list of them and which concentration camp they went in and when they died. And there was kids and and I was like, dude, this is outside your house. Like,
literally, I can look over there and I can see the memorial.
But then
the Jewish,
I'd never really heard of that before. Because from the UK, people didn't have their doors kicked in and dragged to Auschwitz. You know, that happened in obviously the mainland. So that was a bit odd. I remember, I think the next day I went back over there on my own and just took a couple of photographs and just kind of chilled for 5 minutes. But
it's weird, right?
I would never have known that. But to you, not in a disrespectful way, but you probably walk by that every day, so you don't really think about it that often. But for me, it blew my mind in the sense I was just like, wow, I couldn't really comprehend it. But
I have to be honest, almost every time when I walk by it, I look, right?
Yeah.
But the more I do it, the more it gets normalized, right? Sometimes I even forget to do it. And there's even people who live in this area, right, who has nothing with history. They don't like history, or they just walk by and don't think twice or even once about it.
Yeah.
Which is, that's everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea, right? History and the importance of it. It's what I also always say is like history doesn't repeat itself, but it always rhymes. And then when it eventually does rhyme, then people get interested more in it. Do you want to add anything to it?
I don't think so. I think we've covered what we wanted to cover.
Yeah, true. I do have some stuff as well that I wrote down. So no, we already discussed it. We discussed just out top of our head. You haven't even seen this list that I wanted to talk about. We almost
improvise.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So some future guests.
Yeah,
we can. So we have JD from the History Underground.
So JD, I think, yeah. We've got such a list of interesting people, and that's, I think, what I said to you to begin with. Like, I'm not too worried about having huge names, but if I can find an interesting person,
yeah, definitely.
And that's what I said about, there's a couple I want to contact, some British veterans, that have got a bit of an interest, in more recent, so I know a chap who served in Northern Ireland. He'd be great to have on because his family history going back, a really interesting guy. And then obviously some of the big names, JD, hopefully Chris, Vlogging for History, Rob, History in Your Hand, get Marcel on. Marcel, the stories that guy could tell you. If he's happy to, then yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if he wants to, of course, and I don't know who is going to get on in the future or after JD, because the first episode is going to launch is with JD.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to record that in a few days. And then what we want to do is do a weekly upload on this podcast series. So sometimes, if you guys like it, we'll do just us two talking a bit. Today it was more about talking about the company, right, and all that stuff. But trust me, we are really good in talking shit to each other.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing. If anyone wants us to talk about anything in particular, just reach out to us on socials, just send us a message and we can add it in, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think we'll do a few chilled ones, like maybe a Friday night, a couple of beers and just chat, see if we can get on.
Beer and chat. I'm all for that. Yeah. So we could sort of wrap it up. We've already been talking for 50 minutes. Doesn't feel like that, does it?
No, not at all.
No, it's weird,
I don't think people would want to listen to us for too long, though. But
no, true. So what I want to show you guys is Trails of History website is coming soon. So I don't know if the website is already up when you see this, but we are busy with it, and we just have to see how long it's going to take. On there you'll find the tours that we do. So we do private tours as well still. You can just email us, contact us, and we can put something together for you. We are going to do in 2026 ticketed tours, so look out for that. So we're going to do like a Normandy tour, Market Garden tour, but also we are thinking of doing something a little bit more special, which is going to cost a little bit more, but like a North African tour, or maybe even some Roman tours. Ancient history, Egypt maybe. I know a tour guide there as well, who is a phenomenal tour guide. Like he's even better than me. Hey, no, no, he's really, really good. So he's a really nice chap. Research as well. If you want anything to be researched for you, we also have an Instagram and a Facebook. So Trails of History Official on Instagram. You can see it down in the screen now. And a Facebook, Trails of History. We're gonna post some stuff on there, historic content, maybe some memes, maybe some just some cool content that keeps people engaged into history. And then here we have the website. Let me check this as well. Do they like the background? There we go.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? The banner.
Yeah, it's really good.
So we have us doing a tour on the right. In Oosterbeek, on the left, you have World War I, and on the bottom, you have the Wehrmacht from World War II, where it all begins. So it's sort of you have a little bit of the beginning. The left photo, I think, is a little bit of the beginning of World War I, because you don't see really fully developed trenches. I think this is 1916, so sort of middle. It's 1915, 1916 beginning. And then you have the beginning of the World War II, and you have the beginning of a tour company. Sort of. Yeah, I liked it as well,
good.
So...
Yeah, you've got a knack for creating cool stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I did my best. Anything to say? Anything for the first podcast?
No, I don't think so. Like I say, if anyone does take the time to watch this and they got a question or they want something discussed or they just want to reach out and say hey, then feel free to do so. We're pretty good at responding to people as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the future on one of our trips, we can maybe arrange a little meetup or something.
Yeah, definitely. And if people know people who are maybe interesting guests for the podcast, also reach out to us. You can reach out at. Hold on, let me quickly make a banner.
Tappy, tappy, tap.
Because I am. There we go. Our email, info@trailsofhistory.com. It's pretty simple. But yeah, just email us on there, and yeah, that's it.
Happy days.
How are we going to end this? We also had a shit beginning. I don't know. We also had a shit beginning.
You're the editing guy. You do something.
I don't know what I'm.
Oh, wait.
Like,
well, how do you end your videos?
Salute.
You saluted wrong.
So, what?
You saluted wrong.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, the British. Oh, yeah, of course. So, yeah, well, thank you for watching this podcast. And we'll see you guys in the next podcast. Salute. British one.